is set to return. Players will return for workouts this week, about 4 weeks ahead of its currently scheduled return to action. We spoke with the Baltimore Sun's Nathan Ruiz, an Orioles beat writer, about what that return will mean for the game. And he says that it's a welcome distraction to currently rising coronavirus cases, but there may be blowback because of the tense negotiations when the current CBA expires next fall.
The current CBA expires after the 2021 season, and we've seen what happens when labor negotiations in baseball go south.
After a tumultuous negotiation to bring baseball back, Ruiz says it could be a long-term warm-up of what's to come.
Any disagreement that's maybe a little more intense than what we've seen now, this really just seemed like a warm-up for what's coming at the end of the 2021 season. So obviously that's a point to look at. And definitely could change the sport going forward.
The game's return in 2020 comes at the expense of a very widely loved part of baseball. The minor league game will be for naught in 2020, with teams putting together 60-player pools instead and getting to choose whether they want their pool to focus more on development or, for teams like the Astros, depth in anticipation of a long playoff run. The game, once it does return, will look really different though. National League teams will also have a designated hitter.
I think we were probably already trending in this direction of the DH in both leagues. Obviously, I think the most interesting rule is the use of the international tiebreaker, where every extra inning will start with a runner on second base, try to keep games short where pitchers are maybe a little more limited.
And while there's excitement, America's most classic sport is scheduled to return from the pandemic's forced hiatus, there's still a long list of questions for baseball to iron out. And the fact remains, there's a slim chance a season can be completed at this point in North America.
You have to wonder, what happens if these things get too large, these outbreaks kind of continue, these rising cases continue to surge. California has 5 teams in it. If something happens there, where do they move these teams? Are they able to manage that? I just think it's slim when you look at, the closer you get to fall, the more, we perceive, there's still a lot we don't know. We perceive there's going to be more risks.
You can see my full conversation with Ruiz, including more on why the likelihood is so low of playing that full 60-game season on KCENTV.com.